Greetings. Welcome to Wake the Dead. Today we are having a co-show, I guess. The platform is, and the guest is Mr. William Ramsey of William Ramsey Investigates. He's hosting here on YouTube and X and etc. And I am going to put it on my streams eventually. So I am the host of his show today, and welcome everyone. Welcome, William. Thank you for having me on your show to have my show.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for being on my show to stream to your show.
That's wonderful.
Glad to be here.
Well, that's great, because I wanted to have this conversation with you because there's new information. There's an actual face that can be placed on what we talked about long ago on my show, about the Order of Nine Angles. I think the title was O9A is a mind virus. And we got pretty deep. And in that show, we even talked about the transgenderism. And that, I think I want to get into that at the end. This person has a fake name. It's Scarlet Blake. And I just wanted to say that the Scarlet Whore is the big, and I believe that relates to the Baphomet figure that the O9A reveres. And then Blake is William Blake, who was related to English. He made like an English mythology of and his artwork was amazing. And I believe that this person put this name together because of that. Kind of like Marilyn Manson took the, you know what I mean? Like they combining the duality of the female and the male in this mythical magical wedding of his name. It's really I don't know if people really look at the occult, what's going on with Scarlet Blake's occultness. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much here, but you believe that this person, Scarlet Blake, is an example of a smiley face killer.
No doubt. Absolutely 100% correct. This is maybe the first overt and obvious smiley face type killer that I've ever seen. And I've been studying this 8 years now. So to have this surface is really remarkable. And the sentencing just took place last Monday, so literally like 10 days ago or 9 days ago. And the real name of Scarlet Blake is Fangze Wang, or Wang, W-A-N-G. That's his given name, but every element in the title, like I've titled this on my side, Fangze Wang checks all the SFK boxes, because it's almost like he's fulfilled 30 of the elements that I've speculated with you and other people.
30.
It's off the charts. It's really incredible. And we can kind of go, I can try to do it off the top of my head, but fake name, confused gender, nighttime killing, taken to water, stalking, outside of the CCTV, much like Igor Sarsky talked about, like intentionally taking them away from CCTV, knowing they're on CCTV, male, homosexual or trisexual. I don't know what you call this guy. Not like night. Let's see, what else is there? Water, hurting or drugging and then drowning, occultism, right? Online persona, international communication. So one aspect of this crime is Fangze Wang, which a lot of these, and this is another aspect of this case that gets into J.K. Rowling and journalism in the UK. It doesn't seem to have come over to the States, but it's a big news in social media in the UK, this whole situation with Scarlet Blake, and why they never mentioned his real name, and that he's a man. So you have this kind of confusion, gender confusion, but the international aspect is that he had a relationship with another trans person, right? Male to so-called female. He still has his genitalia, is my understanding. But he had a relationship with some guy who was either in Colorado, I think he's in Texas, Austin, Texas, which should be a red flag to anybody. And that person's name is Ashlyn Bell, another fake name, but he was in a relationship and he told this other transsexual who is also a prostitute who also has regalia. You talk about the ONA. He was a Nazi fetishist. He had the Nazi memorabilia angle, which is another ONA checkmark and SFK checkmark. But he was in a relationship and they went out together. Fangze Wang flew to either Colorado or Texas and met this guy and divulged to him that he had actually been involved in the killing of this victim. His name was Jorge, Jorge Carreño, who was a Spanish citizen, originally a Spanish citizen, working for BMW in the city of Oxford in the UK, but told him internationally. So you have that element of this communication that I've always speculated about, that these crimes are taking place because of international travel and communication. And there you have it again. So it's another couple check marks.
Right.
And
on our earlier show, there were the connection between with the different people. There was somebody in Ohio who Daniel Hussein.
Daniel Hussein, that's right.
Knows people in Utah, E.A. Coetting, and
Correct.
There's some sort of like communication between that. So like there's English and Britain communication, hidden and it's communicated by way of the computer. So please continue.
Right. No, but you're right. That's a good example. That's another kind of case. Daniel Hussein was out at night with a knife and went after random victims. He did not know the victims. It was sadly, two women who were celebrating a birthday party at night in a park in northwest London. And he had been in contact with E.A. Coetting on this place called Bolg, which is now, I think, shut down. It's called Become a Living God. And he made a pact with this demon called Rosafal, something like that, and literally did a blood oath. So that element of like the blood is there, and also in this case as well. And they're also the sex magic, which we can get into in these slides that I have about 100 slides. But it's an element of sex magic charging items. So like the blood on these papers is charging. So that can kind of gives a Crowley occultism angle to this case, which isn't a part of the kind of investigation, which is that's another complaint I have about some of these, is they're not getting into the background of some of these guys. But so that's a perfect example of this international communication that's taking place. Right. So that's what's going on with this case. And that guy, Ashlyn Bell, I don't know his real name. I haven't figured it out at this point. But there's pictures of him having, pictures with the same ONA. It's we can look at it because I've seen the pictures. It's the ONA kind of aesthetics, gun, black magic attire out in the forest.
Right, like the Atomwaffen.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, so that is the David Myatt or whatever, Anton Long, or had
Stephen Brown, one of the
right, whatever they wanted. I mean, of course is like a name occulted, just like this gender confusion in the media is an occulting of the Fangze Wang, his real name, that right there is an occulting. And so whoever owns the media and made the rule that don't use its real name, you call him a she, that is an order coming down from above. And like, why are they promoting it like this? It's,
right. Very well said. And it's interesting that you bring up Myatt and his multiple personas, because one aspect of this case that they haven't researched is that this guy Fangze Wang is online under multiple personas, and they haven't been able to ascertain the totality of his social media stuff.
Right.
And so the crime happened in 2021, but 4 months before the crime, he took a cat from a neighbor and did the unspeakable torturing and brutality to this cat in kind of trying to ape a guy from Canada. His name was Luca Magnotta. It was a fake name too. Luca Magnotta is a fake name. It's not his real name. He had some kind of like very kind of Anglo name, like Sean, Williams or something like that. But he took on this other persona and killed the cat. And there was a documentary on Netflix called guys who don't F with cats, or I forgot the title of it.
Right. That's the title. Don't F with cats. Yeah.
Okay. And so this guy, Fangze Wang, emulated that and did this. And then he said something like, I'm going to do it to a person. So it was a kind of gimmick.
Right.
It was kind of a lead up, just like Magnata, who somebody in maybe in the listeners right now know his real name, but that's what led him up to killing a guy, right? He took a victim and literally called a snuff film. So people who say there's no such thing as snuff films, look up Luca Magnotta, because he got a Asian guy, and I think the video was called One Psycho, Two Pickaxes or something like that. This is a pretty dark show, by the way. So,
Whoa.
yeah. But yeah, so this guy, there, like I said, the check marks are there. Like it's
Right.
It's incredible. This is really,
Right.
and they just got him for this one case. That's the whole thing. Like, what else has he been doing? He's 26. He's fairly young. And what else has he been doing online? Like, there's got to be more research. It seems like they kind of spiked the ball, and we got you for this cranial, which they never would have had if this guy, Ashland Bell from Texas, Austin, hadn't told the police.
Right. Yeah, like it that's almost like a blackmail thing where they give each other, like, I guess one of them loved the other one, and like to prove his love, like, here's my jacket with the blood on it, and I give this to you, and it's like you could hang me out to dry. Like, that's a trust thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine their psychopathic
The jacket, I mean,
mindset.
this gets really graphic, guys, but I think that's the charging element. When the jacket was passed in between, the judge said in the sentencing last week that the jacket was covered in Ashland Bell's semen.
Ugh.
So that's like a Crowley charging thing, charging an item, right?
Right.
That's fully a
Right.
occulted type
Talisman, right?
talismanic, right?
Right.
And there's all kinds of hints. This guy's talking about blood, genocide. He's a serial killer admirer. And this guy, Fangze Wang, was. And you'll see this, and it actually ties into my Global Death Cult book, because the last chapter was the chapter about Suvanaroth, who was this kind of like, she was involved in all this neo-Nazism, who's Asian, like this guy's Asian. And she was going to do a Columbine killing where she was going to go to Halifax in Canada. And this is another international people meeting online, right? Going to Canada and committing. And somebody thankfully called the cops and said, hey, I think there's a credible threat. And it was credible because one of the people she was going to commit the crime with killed their parents. Like, that was part of the crime spree. So this guy's knew about Suvanaroth amongst other female killers. So his identity seems like it's female, and it makes me think of Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, it's really incredible.
Right. And that's like an altar they got. Maybe they were abused because, like, apparently Fangze Wang's parents are like elite, like work for Oxford schooling and whatever. I don't know.
That's why he's there. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
The other tie-in is the BDSM. So he's been associated with these other BDSM clubs, which is something I've always speculated is a tie-in, this kind of really graphic. And he traveled to other places, and they would choke each other out. So they would like put a garrote around each other's neck. Super dark, like really, really dark stuff.
That's like a domination. Like, it's weird. It doesn't even seem like sex at that point. It's, but that's the same way that when they dominate small kids, they overpower, it's not even, yeah. So, like, okay, so do you think that the cat being put through the blender and having its eyes cut out and being kept alive while the torture is happening, do you think that could be an insight roll with a stepwise progression towards the greater op for
yeah, that's a great point. That's something that I forgot to add, is that it seems like he was out selecting an opfer on the night that he found this guy Caranio. I wonder if they went back and looked out and see if he was out searching for an opfer on other nights and had no success. And I haven't looked into Oxford and whether there's other mysterious drownings or so-called suicides. And that's what the public was led to believe. That's another check mark in the SFK Death
Right.
is this mystery around the death, and everybody's like, Jorge isn't suicidal, and he was out with friends and having a good time, and he was jovial, and we were, glad hand, just
He
having a
was
good
just
time.
lost. Right.
Yeah, he was lost at night, but the op for selection is an 09A
Right.
element that's here in this, and the insight role for the kind of cat killing. Maybe he was trying to do this. He had that serial killer what is it, the people who follow serial killers all the time, a fetish or something like that. So maybe that's what he knew of Magnotta, right? And maybe he identified with Magnotta because Magnotta was a man who like took on hyper feminine traits, like he wore lipstick and something like that. Magnotta's interesting too because he was on the run, he was international, so he like committed crimes in Canada, and then I think he got caught in Germany. Somebody recognized him in a internet cafe. So like these cases are all involving this modern form of communication, something I've speculated on from day one. Yeah.
Right. So the 09A started in England, right? Like Welsh something.
Yeah, it's Shropshire. So it's one of the, kind of states within the
Nexion
UK.
0, Shropshire.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think there's a Nexion in Oxford, and I have to go back through and check and see what that Nexion was and see if there's an overlap. Like I actually have to do some like real journalism, which a lot of these people, and we'll see this in here, they're not doing real journalism, just like you said. They either had something come down from the top, but the uniformity of the reporting is shocking. Like they all just call him Scarlet Blake. And even the judge, like, why don't you use his real given name? He's not from the US. So,
and like
the
the whole
UK,
court system works on your like court name or whatever. So we're given like a social security card to like that name in all caps or whatnot. It's weird. Like they won't use his real name given at his like for his birth certificate at birth. They use this other thing. I wonder if that's like a legal loophole.
It might be, but they don't use his real name and they don't use his real gender. Like they shouldn't call him a woman.
I know.
They should call him a male to female transgender. It's more specific.
Right.
Because you're not a woman. If you still have your male genitals and you still have you don't know. It's like somewhere he may be stuck in between a gender because one other aspect of this case, which may not be part of the ONA, is that he came out of an infamous gender transition hospital called the Tavistock Gender Clinic. Like this is like this is the consequences of this for gender ideology are so gigantic. They have to probably put a cap on it because, and I had an interview or I did a show called Transitioned to Kill. Did this weird transitioning make somebody literally disassociate? Like these guys are psychologically sophisticated. This guy's smart. He told the judge he was disassociating and he thought he was a cat too. Like it's so crazy, Sean. You cannot believe how important this case is.
So maybe that's
they have to get rid of his connections.
Yeah.
They have to sanitize his entire connections online and not go into his other personas and who else he was talking to.
So I came across in my days on Facebook, well, before I was kicked off for the things that you cannot say, I was just erased. But before that, I met this person who was a member of the 09A in the past, and they wrote their own books, and they were a member of a Nexion or whatever, and I forget the name. The number is like 913 or something. And that person had multiple names, and they had so many Facebook, and I thought it was just so that they could like cause trouble on Facebook and be like a troll everywhere, because that person was most definitely a troll. And those of you who know me understand who I'm talking about. But they it was like they were trying to cause infighting between others and cause hatred and division. And it was almost as if he was like ordered to be there in that specific group. Um, and he obviously had mental issues, and some of like one of his names was Quistel. Yeah. It's like, and he talks about like, and void brim, like talking about the void and like this meditation place and like all these just nonsensical, basically. Like it's showing his craziness online. But so anyway, this person also took medications, and I have compassion for them. Like, I feel bad that they have fallen into the trap of that, and like I'm not going to speculate on that. But anyway, that's an example of what someone who falls into the mind virus trap that is O9A. So like this Scarlet Blake obviously falls into trends and traps of consciousness if they're into the weird stuff and thinking it's a cat or whatever. Like that's a new fad. People,
Yes.
ever since the TikTok whatever, or the Snapchat filter where you can have cat ears, people are now like, oh yeah, I'm a cat. Like, if you can say you're the other gender, you might as well say you're a cat. Like, at this
Why
point,
not?
really, it's just
Right.
it's plain fiction.
What does that do to your perception of reality too? Like if you literally say like I'm a cat too, like I'm a man and a woman and a cat.
Right.
I mean, how detached from normal feelings do you become?
Right.
What happens to you when you take puberty blockers and you may not totally feel like a man's,
Right.
you're a man, you're born a man, but maybe you have I mean, what are they giving him? Estrogen or something like that? Like you
I think
probably
so.
don't have like the kind of you don't know what a real man is because you had your puberty blocked.
Right.
I mean, puberty itself is actually kind of like a dysmorphia in a lot of ways because your body's changing. You will go from
Right.
a
Like a
12-year-old kid
metamorphosis.
to an adult. Yeah, you metamorphosize.
Yeah.
What if that natural metamorphosis, whether you're a Darwinist or just a natural metamorphosis, God made us all.
Right.
What if that gets stunted? Or
Right. It's
changed?
like a FU to God, like
Yeah,
inversion.
or you just don't feel like a normal man or a woman. Like women feel like they're a woman.
Yeah.
They
Usually.
have cycles and
Yeah.
they
Right.
grow. Like women have to get used to their changes in their
Menstruating.
body, menstruating, and
Right.
they
Right.
grow.
Right.
Their breasts or whatever. And then men too, like your hair starts growing, your beard
Right.
starts growing, which didn't happen before. Like you have to get used to
Right.
kind of like shaving and
But now there's estrogen mimickers in the water and like in the plastics and like
right, which is a whole like,
the
but I mean,
makeup
add to
and all
that
that.
going to a gender clinic too, right?
Right. Tavistock ran gender clinic, which
Here's what gets even scarier is what if the guys at Tavistock know
yeah.
in the interior, and that's what's scary about the MK Ultra or even the behavioral modification sciences and any real doctor. What if they know that giving you hormone blockers or transitioning you is going to turn you into a maniac, right? Like
Right.
we're in programmed to kill. That was
Right.
my whole thing about the transition to kill. What if they know they're creating psychos?
Right.
Like that's what gets really scary.
Right. And it's an attack on testosterone, I think that and I wonder if testosterone is necessary for both the sexes. And I wonder if testosterone is related to care and like connection, because women need testosterone to feel like a sexual attraction to her mate, and men have testosterone to take care of the female and the babies, and that's like what if the new world order is going to create this dominating of humanity, they want to get rid of the loving protector. They want to get rid of the sexual connection. Like, look at THX 1138. The guy's got this masturbation machine. You know what I mean? And he like lives with a woman, And then he does the unthinkable. He stops taking his meds, and then he has sex with the girl, and then gets her pregnant. And whoa, he's that's against the law. I gotta run. It's um like that's what the New World Order is going to be. Like
The
I
New
don't
York
know.
orders now.
Yeah,
They've taken testosterone readings, and like all the men are feminized. Like they've been feminized
right.
by the food. Like we're being poisoned by the food. So the
Yeah,
men are no longer. But you can just go walk outside and look at all the effete looking dudes, and go back and look at the pictures from the 60s and 70s. 3 o'clock shadows, faces are big, brows are like the bones are stronger. They're just like.
right.
"Ugh." And today they're all pussies, man. They look like
That's
freaking
true.
feet. They're like skinny.
Yeah.
It's done by intention. So the alchemical change is
Right.
subtle. That's happening, and they're doing it through the shots too.
Well,
But
it's
the
overt
gender
as
clinic is more
well.
overt. Yeah.
Well, look at what they're doing to the military. I mean, they got like the generals are wearing dresses and makeup. They got like advertisements for like, and I think that the military pays for the gender transition. I think that they pay the bill
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
join
they
the
do. And if you're in jail too, here in the States. So they will
Wow.
do a full sniff.
They they won't do dental work
No.
on a person in jail, but they'll only
Or
extract teeth. They won't like fix
or
them.
maintenance healthcare, the
Yeah,
basic
right. But
maintenance.
they'll
Like, come
chop
on in
you
for a
up.
checkup. No.
Right.
You want to turn into a woman?
Right.
Done. It's the
Well,
same
I
thing
mean,
with there's that really funny not the Onion, but the Babylon Bee, where the girl comes in for help. We can't help you. You want transition? Yeah, we can do that for you right
right,
away.
right. And it comes down to genital mutilation is ancient occult practice. Like they still do it in America and some people in Britain and in Israel, they do the ritual cutting of all the males in the society, most of them. That's changing here slowly in America, but the genital mutilation, if you look back into the occult history, it has been there the whole time, and I think it relates to the mind control element. Like our minds are part of our body as well, and the testosterone that we get from our genitalia, it adds to our mental growth and our understanding as and so by stunting
It
these
makes me
youths.
think. It makes me think, Sean. They have the word nirvana applies to kind of Eastern religion in India, but they actually had temple slaves called nirvana
Hmm,
in India, and they would castrate them.
right,
They would
eunuchs.
actually cut off their penis, and I mean, it's totally
Oh,
savagery.
right, nullos, everything,
Yeah,
right?
they would
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
everything off, but that person wouldn't resist. They wouldn't fight back. They had no
right.
testosterone, and so then they would become this kind of androgyny in India is way different than it is here. In some ways,
Yeah,
like
it's revered
India,
in a way. It's weird.
yeah, no, it's really different. Like it's not the Western worldview, and so those existed, but the temple slaves would just become temple slaves, and the eunuchs
Right,
in the kind of Islam were the same thing. They would turn you into a eunuch, but then they would become more passive. They
right,
wouldn't fight back as much because they don't have any testosterone to fight
right.
back.
And Scarlet Blake retained his
Something. His
testosterone or
testicles.
whatever,
Yeah.
so he like is still a warrior, even though he dresses up like a
Girl.
maiden,
He
whatever.
has boobs. He or she, whatever, has
So it's
he
been
has
going through the transition drug. I think that there's like stages. So like, go ahead, please.
I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
where he's
Well, I
at.
mean, how do they grow? I mean, unless he was taking steroids and then quit all of a sudden. I know people that quit steroids and all of a sudden they have weird man boobs and because everything's all out of whack,
Whacked out,
because
yeah.
they increased the testosterone and then they stopped all of a sudden and then that cold turkey it's
They
weird. I know this.
stopped
Yeah.
everything at the Tavistock Gender Clinic because of the investigation and the medical malpractice. I shouldn't really even say these words because I'll probably get kicked off of YouTube, but they stopped it all.
Well, you're talking about the WP. There's like four letters. I forget what it
Oh
was.
yeah, it's
It was
the Tavistock.
it was
It's somewhere in
released.
my slides.
Right, right. It was like
Um,
this recently released. It was like the FOIA.
Oh yeah, the this was by Michael Schellenberger, who's a really great journalist, but he put out something called the something files, which was the US version of kind of Tavistock,
Right.
and it was called the
WP something. I think that's 4 letters.
WPHAT, I think, was it? I can't remember the title of it now.
Okay. Well,
let me find
people
it.
listening all probably are all yelling at the radio.
WPATH
Like,
files,
there you go.
WPATH.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that it reveals that the doctors know it is harmful to do that to youth, and that kids cannot consent, and they don't actually understand informed consent of the what's going on, and then like almost always they regret it. And the reality is that more people off themselves, if you will, this suicide after the transition happens within 5 years. Usually that is the statistic. So when people tell you, oh, it's better to chop up their genitals than to have them commit suicide, no, after you chop off their genitals, then they don't orgasm anymore, then they don't have
right, they're not even real women. So this was actually, your timing of saying that's incredible, because this is from yesterday. Elon Musk, the most influential tweeter out there, maybe Tucker Carlson more, says gender reassignment surgery doubles risk of suicide for men. Not the B. California study, attempted suicide rate among men who had gender surgery twice as high as it was before the operation. 7.1 million views. Like, this guy, that's incredible. But like, the timing is like, he's actually really on point on so many things. But that's why I'm. So but the WPATH files, it's really interesting because they found them talking on video. They left a record of it saying, if we find out somebody had a bad time, make sure the new transitioner doesn't find out about it. So they were deliberately pigeonholing or what do you call it? Stovepiping, where you don't get all the other information. They were deliberately doing that to their, what I would call, a victim.
Right. It's the same thing with circumcision. When after they do it, they never follow up with the babies. So all of the botch never get recorded. So they always, whenever they're doing their false informed consent, like, oh yeah, it's just a little snip, it prevents cancer. Yeah. Then they never tell you about how it can kill the baby. Yeah, they never say that what, like. So that is the same, because it affects the brain. Like, I think that there's something to that. I think that the fact that the government is pushing the genital mutilation so hard, I think that goes to the occult history.
My understanding too is that if you get that procedure done to your penis, your nerves become desensitized,
removed. They take them off. Yeah.
So like, then
you lose like 60% supposedly of the feeling. So
then you're not getting the maximum amount of erotic pleasure. Maybe
I wonder if those nerve endings are necessary for the sex magic, and then by cutting those off, it removes our ability to attain those heights of whatever the hell they do.
Heightened states, maybe. Like, what if you're not obtaining your highest sexual thing, then you're not bonding with your mate enough, right?
What if that's the case? I agree to that too. It's like they're attacking the synapse point between the male and the female.
Between male and the female,
right? So that
and that's probably the same thing with female genital mutilation too.
Yes,
she doesn't.
Not allowed to feel. They cut off the feelings.
The God-given natural biological. I mean, we're into like heavy territory. Like, these guys are tampering around with heavy stuff
connected to our brains. Like it makes sense that it's like it affects the brain when they do that, and then they have a more willing slave. People
just like like the castrati, just like the castrated people, the eunuchs.
Right. Yes, the eunuchs are a more willing slave.
Yeah, they don't have any credit. They don't have the testosterone rolling around in their minds.
So I know a person that I won't name who I used to be friends with since like third grade, and they uh grew up to be a man, and they had a baby, and then they joined uh the OTO and was rising the ranks of the OTO, and then decided that he was female, uh and went through it all the way. And I knew him as a kid, was very willfully driven, and would like quit smoking to prove a point, and then like take up smoking again just because like um and I think that that is like an ego thing, like to push it all the way and to show everybody that um and he's no longer part of the OTO, doesn't believe in magic anymore, like had this weird, I don't know why or whatever. Um, but anyway, that I saw him go through this transformation, and um, and now he's with a woman, and he's still a dominating figure. He's still the alpha male, although he still rages angry, and his mate is like, she's like 80 pounds, female, very timid. And they, uh, and I wonder, like, I'd say, don't you miss, like, and he'd be like, oh, why? He had some sort of aversion to it. But I don't know but he went through a stepwise progression, and he was going through the occult orders, the magical orders, and the OTOs, all sex magic. And you look at, Genesis Porridge was into the Pandrogyne, like that whole
Crowley was
unification.
too. Positive androgyne is really it's
Right.
fusing of the two words together. But
Right.
that's what Crowley wrote, is that
Well,
Satan is
Crowley
like the androgyne.
Right, well, Crowley put Pan on a pedestal. You read, like, "Oi, Pan, Pan, Pan," like,
Right.
the prayer that he's
Him to
got,
Pan, him to
him
Pan.
to right. So, like, Pan itself is, like, an occult, reference to the the generative force, like, this, half goat with an erection that's got these nymphs, and just, fornicating constantly, like, and that in itself is the combination of two separate things, a man and a goat. Like, that is the combination of a different polarity. And then you look at the Baphomet, is an inversion of that. The goat is the top part, and the lower part
Right.
is the human, which is, whoa, like, they go into these inversions like crazy. So I think that that's like because of the mental devolution that this mind virus like eats away slowly. And I think that the uh thinking that one could change their sex goes along with thinking that they could become God, or separate from God, or their own living
Right.
God, or with the
Bold,
BALG.
right? BOLG.
Right.
It makes me think of Cremo and some of these other modern kind of killers where they have Cremo clearly had part of the mind virus. He had the smiley face, he had the symbolism, he had the kind of Manson-esque thinking, like there's no everything is now. That's actually a very
Huh.
cult view, where
Right.
there's no past and no future. Everything is now. That's what Manson used to, mind control his people. Is that the only thing that's important is now? And I'm your daddy, right? That's another one. The only thing he was good, man. So whoever trained him did a good job, the Scientologist or whatever.
Yeah, whoa.
But he knew a
Yeah,
lot.
he was clear. He was like OT clear or whatever.
Yeah. No, there was a story. I mean, you got to take Bugliosi with a kind of grain of salt, but there's a story in Bugliosi's book where he was with somebody and they walked into a Scientology center and they said, "You know everything. There's nothing we can train you." So he had reached the top.
Right.
And just a classic crappy journalist, just like this whole story about Scarlett Blake. These journalists are lazy and they're probably just told what to
They're
do. But
gatekeepers in a
they're
way.
gatekeepers because Manson knew everything about the occult and just tons of occult
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And they just go over it. Like he's making the sign of like Thoth or whatever, Typhon. He's making like typhonic hand signs. He talks about one of these other occult gods. Like he knows all this stuff, and they just never talk about it. Dude's
and in the interviews,
high
he
level
says like, "Your children are mind controlled," like, you know, and that's legit because they watch TV, and he's telling us in our face, like,
no,
because he's part of the group, just like
he's part of the Scientology
West,
process group. Yeah,
Jolly West was his like connection, I think, right? And the hate Ashbury.
It's just that we could do a show on that, but there's like over. He's like 2 blocks away from the process.
Right.
He's driving around a black bus with a goat on the front, right? A goat's head, just like from the process.
Right.
Jolly West is running hippie stuff and running like this secret house where they're studying hippies and doing this research. Then there's the Haight Ashbury Clinic is right there. And then down the street is Hunter S. Thompson. Like Hunter S. Thompson is like 2 blocks away from
the snuff films, right?
With the snuff films. And then also down the street is Kenneth Anger with Bobby Bouzoulet living in the Russian embassy. Like which
Kenneth Anger is like
stone's throw from Haight
with Kinsey and those guys together, and like
it's unbelievable, dude. It's a nexus point for like the occult American underworld. They had this like powerhouse Magic of Oz on Haight at this one. It was a studio, straight studio. Like there's just all kinds of being. The human being is there. The same 1967.
And you didn't even mention the Grateful Dead. Is
Leary,
like from there, like,
the Dead.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's and that was like it was almost like a dwarf star, a white hot dwarf star that came together in the Haight and exploded. Like because the Manson came out of that, right? The whole Manson family and everything.
That's right.
It's really
so
incredible.
Manson was probably.
Let me tell you another mind control Manson story. I know it's kind of semi on topic, but 4 months before the Manson murders happened at and what was the place in Hollywood? It was called. What was the street name? Anyway,
Cielo Drive.
Cielo Drive. So 4 months. I think it was Kasabian joined the family, right? So she was there 4 months, and she became the star witness.
Was that the driver?
I don't know if she was the driver,
ran away or something.
Kasabian, she changed her name and like went underground because she was the star witness for Bugliosi. But when she got arrested, she her family decided to get some specialty help to make the argument at a certain point, a defense argument to Bugliosi that she was hypnotized or she was under some kind of mind control by Manson. And guess who the family hired as a expert?
Jolly West.
Close.
Oh,
William Joseph Bryan Jr.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, the same guy who like consulted on Manchurian Candidate allegedly, who worked on the Boston Strangler case, and allegedly was the kind of controller for Sirhan Sirhan.
Wow.
Can't write this, dude. You cannot write that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how all the connections come together. That's why your show is great. All the listeners should be listening to William's show as well, because you get deep into these the connections. Like just recently, you've been doing some great shows.
This one is a connection. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the slides yet. We're
let's do that. Let's please.
This is the only there's only 2 places you can find online where they literally mention this Scarlet Blake's name, and this is one Christian voice, Fangze Wang. So that's it.
It's the Christian that says his name. That's interesting. The one.
Well, he's saying don't be gaslighted, right? So he's using like mind control terms too. How kids are gaslighted. There's like 71 views or something on Twitter, so like he's getting no play. But we'll show like all these other major mainstream news, and this is maybe an exemplar of how dangerous it is to trust any of the corporate media. Right. But like they never mention this guy's real name, and it actually makes me think one of the interesting connections is to another Asian guy who predated on white dudes. So there may be like a racial element or an ethnic element, but the guy in Manchester, his name was I can't remember it now, but he was the most prolific male rapist in UK history. And he was gay, and he would go out at night and stalk for people, vulnerable people, and bring them back to his apartment and then drug them with GHB and rape them. And they think he had like 200 victims at least. And his name,
Did that
Reinhard Sinaga, who was from, he wasn't an American, he wasn't a UK, he was from Indonesia. And if you look at these pictures of Fangze Wang and Reinhard Sinaga, not exactly menacing, not exactly
right?
the 6'10", 300-pound muscle man. So I think that there may be, I think that this is an insight into the smiley face killers, is that there may be other guys who look like this you would never know, who are flying under the radar. Anyway, so this is Fangze Wang. This is a picture of him torturing the cat. And we'll go in and we can bring up the...
Crowley killed a cat in many different ways as well.
Well said. That's right. That's right. There's the famous cat murder sequence. He did it just to satisfy scientific curiosity.
That's what he says.
Good memory. No, that's interesting. So there's like Crowley tie-ins, Crowley magic tie-ins, this whole thing.
Right. Maybe this is part of the, like, Crowley went through his own insight rolls to, like, see if the cat really did have 9 lives. Wrote about it. Oh, I threw it out a window and I chopped it with an axe and then I burned it. And then, like, all that is disgusting. And if someone can read that and be like, yeah, okay, that's achieving scientific goals, seeing if it's not, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, Crowley probably killed somebody. I know he shot somebody in India. That's like what he admits to, but whether there was human sacrifice. So
William Burroughs shot his wife. I mean, like they're cool with that. Like, what's P. Diddy killed 2 people?
Yeah, shot a guy in the stomach, man.
Yeah,
and kept going. Like, no repentance.
Hopefully,
or
that's gonna come up, and he's gonna have to pay the piper for that one. Like,
it's incredible. I mean, what if he never even gets arrested or goes into the law enforcement to, like,
he'll probably Epstein. He'll probably end up Epsteining himself. Probably shouldn't talk about that on the
well,
YouTube.
I mean, there has to be some form of resolution. If he's been blackmailing people for decades, there's probably some very angry people in the hip hop community who are like, dude, I didn't know that I was getting Epstein when I was at your mansion.
And think about all the gang members that were there being filmed while they were picking up their drugs and stuff and their weapons from him. And, like, he was their plug in to the government, like how they could get all of that was not mentioned. All they talked about was the gay stuff. And, like, he's got cameras in there. So anyway, like, I wonder if because of this 09A is like, it's inherently computer based. All of the information is going into the camera. It's being recorded by their computer. It's all, like, being, like, absorbed by the NSA. And maybe they, I don't know, tracking, maybe it's some way of, like, festering these people, seeing how they grow and learning their psychology, because they get to see all of the emails between them. Like, this dude and that other dude in America were on, and then they can see the plane flight information. But anyway.
No, it's incredible. Like, imagine if you're like a puppeteer like that. It's like programmed to kill 5G, right? Like, you're literally, like, watching this guy you created out of a lab at Tavistock and following, like, okay, we got a new file update for so-called Fangze Wang, aka Scarlet Blake. He's online under a different persona. He's talking about serial killers. Let's see what happens next. Let's see if we can turn him. Maybe some of these guys get turned.
They cultivated Charlie Manson. You know what I mean? Like, into what he became. He grew up in Boys Town and then was always in jail for more of his life than he was free.
He mysteriously gets out of jail. Then he mysteriously doesn't get arrested. That's O'Neill's book, is like, there was this huge car theft thing. Oh, we'll just overlook Charlie. Don't worry about it.
He's cool. Just like they overlook a lot of people that are in
Dude, it's like Parallax View, bro. Like, oh, we think you're special. Why don't you take this test? You're different than other people, aren't you? You kind of see things differently, and people, you don't do well at jobs. I got a job for you.
You can kill this cat.
Dude, that's the whole thing, is like,
kill it on video.
He'd be the perfect patsy for Intel, right?
Right.
Because they would just go, he's already established his own legend, his own background legend.
Yeah.
So if you were an Intel, you just get him in the right spot and you do a Sirhan, right?
Right. And look at the guy who shot up the movie theater in Aurora.
Yeah.
His mother or whatever was working for mind control for the government.
Yeah.
And he was in college, was like, or was it his mother? I forget.
He
But
was studying like neurology or
right.
something like that. Like, and he was dude, there's pictures of that guy.
He was
He
on,
underwent a personality change.
right.
No question.
Right. And so they can, I mean, with trauma or whatever they do and druggings and whatever happened to Sirhan has only evolved. So
No
now they,
question. There's no
there's,
question.
and I'm
It's
sure this
terrifying.
09A
It's
is like,
terrifying. Yeah.
like how is it like it's like it's festering into this bubbling. I think I mean they talk about in the 09A this aeonic change, right?
Right.
And like, and also in the news they got the war in the Middle East or whatever, and so and all the Christians are like, yay, Jesus is coming back, and
Right.
everybody's like being frothed up to this. Even that movie that we talked about, the Leave the World Behind, it's like they're like pushing this like civil war in America, and
Right.
I
That
wonder
Civil
if,
War movie comes out next month too, so that'll be
right.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that too.
Yeah, we'll have to analyze that. That'll be
Oh,
good.
man. Yeah, right.
They're going to try. Yeah, they're prepping people. They want to have a civil war.
Yeah, they're trying to push us, and like maybe these people that are going into 09A are like studied. They're like test subjects to see how far they can push certain personalities with just influence. Like they can have some trainer on the internet like showing them, oh, read this book from that whatever, read this Black Book of Satan, and like, like, and then they stepwise become Scarlet Blake. Like they think that they're like this magical being who like transcends
You're special. You're beyond gender.
Right.
You're
beyond
this,
morality, right?
Beyond morality, above good and evil, above the law.
Right. You can become immortal.
Yeah. And you're different than Homo Huberati. They're all arrogant and they don't like you and they're judgmental.
Right.
Because they don't respect you as a person. You're
right.
special.
Us and them, they are the perfect Opfer. We should kill them, right?
Yeah. Hitler was for aeonic change too. I mean, that's one of his occult similarities to Crowley and some of these other people, is that he wanted 1,000 years. That's what an aeon is. Millennial change, Age of Horus, that kind of stuff. So so he's torturing the cat. This is a video you do not want to see.
Yeah.
But like, this guy was in the US. This is another example of this. This is Guy Harland. Ex-girlfriend told police a woman. So they keep calling him a woman. It's a man to female transgender. Allegedly committed murder, held a rifle towards her months before. Scarlet, and they keep saying Scarlet Blake. They don't say Yang Shi Wang or whatever.
If you zoom in on that dude's face, like he is looking evil. He knows cameras are taking pictures and he's proud of himself. Look at that.
One of the interesting things is look at the Serco cop. He's got his rainbow flag tie pin going on. So you want to talk about mind virus? There's two mind virus.
That's part of it
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're order followers for the cult of government, so that too is a mind virus, right?
No doubt. So here's the BDSM. This is, you can tell he has kind of like small breasts. So he is a she. You can kind of see that there. Misfits, skull motif, intrusion, goth, industrial, BDSM, post-punk, whatever that is. What's post-punk?
I think that's like post-metal. It's like kind of more orchestral, I guess, like trying to make it like art. I guess. I don't know.
So that was the picture of him, but this is J.K. Rowling, right? She's like a huge influence. And she says, I'm so sick of this S. This is not a woman. These are not our crimes. And this guy's going to be categorized as a female committing the crimes, which is another abomination. It's just so so crazy. Like,
right. J.K. Rowling is hated by the trans community because they consider her a feminist against
turf. Isn't there like a
turf,
turf versus
right?
turf?
Trans exclusive radical feminist. Yeah. And supposedly that's like a mean thing, that if you call somebody a turf, like,
Right. It means that they just hate trans people.
well, it means that they exclude them as women. So like they won't go down on your woman penis. Sorry, I don't think that's a woman. Like and they're all like, they get mad that you like, oh, you call you whatever. I'm sorry. It's getting kind of
but it's so strange. You still have a penis, dude. You
I
are a
know.
man.
I know.
This guy's a man.
It's
Like
the worst cognitive dissonance, like
yeah,
to
it's the
make
worst cognitive, and then they're forcing it upon you.
to
So
make
you
like
will
a
lose your
feminist
job.
go down on a man is like such a like that, and then to shame them for not doing it.
Right.
Feminists hate men. Like what?
Right.
Like what are you? It's crazy. I'm
So
sorry.
crazy. No, but there was like the story of I was talking to Roberta Glass. There was a story of a guy in Canada who said he was a woman, but he wanted to go get like a Brazilian wax.
Oh,
So
right.
he like
and then sued.
Right. So, but like they're looking at it like, you're not a woman. You have
Dude.
a penis and testicles.
The
Like
Brazilian
this is
wax
crazy.
does not involve waxing balls. Like it's not a Brazilian wax if it's a ball bag. Sorry. Anyway, so next slide.
So they found this really interesting thing. I don't know. I haven't gone through his social media. I can't find Scarlett Blake's social media, by the way. But some of these people, like I studied Lindsay Suvarnarov, like she was fully in the Nazi movement as an Asian.
Right.
And she used to have all the same kind of aesthetics, right, as these guys have, which we will see. But she had, like, she wore the kind of Nazi regalia and all the stuff. But then these are all the other kind of female killers. Casey Anthony, some of these names I don't know.
So he had evidence on his computer that he was into these women?
Yes.
Yeah. I see. Wow. So they...
Andrea Yates drowned her 5 children. So that was like it.
Can we get the information that was on his computer?
I don't know yet.
Available?
I don't know yet. I don't think so.
Okay.
How Oxford Dons. So the Oxford Don. So like somebody, he's related to somebody who's like a serious person up high at Oxford. Betrayed by escort.
It's parent, right? His parent, daughter.
Gun accept as field how everything after blazing row. So this is a lot. The reason I have these screenshots is because it's all over the news in the UK. So this was a big story there. Didn't make it here,
but it's covered up here because they want to have favorable news about transgenders, and they don't want to. Right.
And then there's another one. So this is the perfect murder. So that's one of the things. Almost every show I talked about the SFK deaths is that they're meant to be the perfect crime, right? So he knows, or Yang Ji Wang, whatever, knows that he's trying to commit the perfect murder. And you'll see this, and we can watch the video. Like, it's incredible. Like, he literally stalks the guy.
By that you mean away from the CCTV cameras?
Yeah, no,
by the waterfront.
Yeah, no, I have the video. I think I sent it to you, but I have the video. We can do a walkthrough with it. I mean, I don't know how we're already at the hour mark. We have.
Well, I've got time if you've got time, so
I've got
that's fine. Okay, good.
So this is the girl Ashlyn Bell. I don't know his real name, but this is all ONA Adam Waffen aesthetics, visuals, right?
How can they think that's tough? What? They dress it up as tough, but that is the opposite of tough. It's a cognitive dissonance right there in one picture. Sorry. I mean, some women can be tough, but that is not. Anyway.
But note also that this man has the cat meow face mask, just like Yusheng Wang or whatever his name is. So this is the bruised my esophagus. So they're into like, we'll see that like he's choking each other out. So this was from Wang's like social media, like that. That was from the court
between the two of them. They were like courting each other,
exchanging stuff. Yeah, and we'll see that like they were doing it. Given that Blake was wearing a heavy-duty coat with a face mask, they say she was not identified until April 2023 when her former girlfriend contacted police officers from the U.S. to inform them of Blake's identity and his role in Mr. Carreño's death. So it wasn't until April 2023, but let's see. And then they say that there was an inquest into the death of Carreño. This is after his inquest closed in May 2022. His family were left pleading with the police to continue investigating. At the time, the pathology evidence was inconclusive and the coroner could only deliver a narrative verdict. So this is all very same thing. Like the families, almost all of the SFK victim families to a T, say this doesn't make sense.
Right.
They're all saying this, and this guy's
And
family
the police
said the
don't
same
want to
thing.
keep investigating. They just want to write it off as like, whoops, he
Right.
just fell in the water. But I mean, in this case, it's proven that like they have the jacket with the blood.
Yeah, I think they found they had the CCT evidence that these two were together at night, so they knew
Right.
that.
But they don't have evidence of the hitting with the bottle.
Right. They assumed it, and you'll see that when we get to the court's verdict, that they kind of put it together. But he may have done something like garroted him. Like if they were garroting each other, maybe he got him up and they started drinking alcohol together, and then
it's probably some
strangled him
kind
and
of
drowned
like sex fetish or whatever. The guy thought he was just drinking with somebody, and then like,
a
oh,
girl.
whoops, he's trying to do some weird stuff. You know, like
Get this, Sean. There's been so many times I've talked to people about SFK. Like I've been in the game for 8 years, where I said there might be a girl involved, and that's why these guys let down their guard.
right.
What if the Jorge Carreño thought this guy was a girl?
It was nighttime,
It was
and
nighttime. Maybe he had makeup on.
he was wearing all black and the backpack and carrying, you know.
You couldn't tell like the shape of the body. Maybe
Right.
he just thought, oh, this is like a goth girl, you know.
Right.
And that may be the key, that the transgenderism might be the whole key to the SFK crimes. That's why I'm saying this guy has to be investigated to see who he's talking to.
Right.
They have to investigate Ashland Bell. The FBI should have been all over this. They should be investigating Ashland Bell and see who his connections are.
Right.
Because they may just be some kind that may be the network.
Wow.
It's crazy. And so then this is let me see. I highlighted this because it's about the kind of dissociation. Mr. Sutton asked whether she had any other sides to her personality. Blake replied, there have been many that come and goes. I wouldn't say I fit a textbook definition of dissociative identity disorder in that there are not hard boundaries. For me, it is more fluid. Blake of Crotch Crescent, Oxford, denies murder. The trial was adjourned until Tuesday. So, like, he self-acknowledges the kind of dissociation, but
that works for his defense, right? It's like oh, I'm just crazy.
His appeal, right? His appeal, he'll say I'm insane,
right?
Not guilty by reason of insanity,
right.
But you can see
how I killed the cat. Only a crazy person would do that,
right? Or see how I stalked this guy, like thoughtfully got in the right place at night, looking for a victim, found the right victim, found the right offer, talked to him, drug him out of the CCTV camera, and then drowned him deliberately. That was the work of a maniac. I didn't have any planning.
And I knew it was wrong so much that I gave my jacket with blood on it to my girlfriend guy that lives in America that jizzed on it.
Jizzed on it all over it, and that was back in court.
Right. He only jizzed on it because he knew that it really wasn't from a murder. It was just whatever, just a weird jacket with blood stain. Whatever. I'll jizz on it.
That's how dark it gets, bro. And it makes sense. That's how dark it gets. Their power. They're charging talismans or objects or something weird like that is going on. Like, I remember this from Crowley.
Right.
So crazy. This is more of it. This is how strange it is. The whole thing is a suspension from reality, the defendant said. For her, I'm sure it would have been sexually arousing. For me, it is a reciprocation for her pleasure. Earlier, Blake had explained to the jury she was born in China and came to live in the UK age 9. At 12, she told her parents she was transgender, and since 17, 26 at the now. 17 has been on medication to block testosterone and also take estrogen supplements. So there you go. No testosterone, estrogen. Jurors heard that Blake had been diagnosed with depression when she was younger and had a fragmented personality, included being a cat for which she would meow at friends. There's a part that is just a cat, which is strange, and that seems to me what the happy part of me is, in that they come out when I'm happy, she told the jury. With friends I know quite well who are aware of this part of me, I meow at them in greeting. It is quite strange. It is very prominent when I'm expressing certain emotions. For example, the cat has a pretty strong association with joy, and I suppose the innate goodness. It's kind of childhood innocence. Blake also did an impression of a meowing cat to show the jury how she would meow at her friends.
I bet you that person was trained to know what to say so that it sounds totally crazy, you know? And like maybe they did meow at their friends, but they're trying to be cute and stuff. Like I knew like weird little goth people that did weird stuff and like dressed up funny and like they're just trying to get attention and a lot of times and to be, to fit into their weird, their little clique of not to put down anybody that's goth or whatnot, or I'm just saying that like sometimes I knew girls like in middle school and high school and stuff that would meow like a cat. Like they thought that I thought that it would be cute or something, and it was just part of their just like trying to be cute or whatever. And by saying it that way, it makes it look like, oh, that was an alter of my personality. I must be crazy. So I couldn't
Right.
be responsible because
Right.
whoever killed that person wasn't the real me. That was just one of my alter splits. Like,
Right. So you have fragmented personality and you've got dissociation all in the same person and the
right,
acknowledgement that is. So he's like the real crazies don't have the self analysis to see that in them. So it's
right.
even kind of stranger
Yeah.
in this case
Yeah.
because there's self awareness, right? Like, oh
Right.
yeah, I have dissociation and I have a fragmented personality.
But it seems as though that they like know those are the words to say. Like maybe they studied that,
Agreed. Agreed. He's smart. That's the whole thing. This
right,
guy's intelligent. He wouldn't have gotten caught unless his other male to female told cops.
right.
So he did commit the perfect crime,
Pretty
except for
much. Except
talking
for
to.
using it for his love ritual with the weird dude in America.
Right,
But they
and they
found
say
each other online through these
right,
weird, just like
yeah,
the O9A finds themselves. Like
yeah,
there's that connection.
or the OTO or whatever Scientologists. I don't know,
Right.
but it makes me think. Also, these guys are binding each other to each other. It makes me think of the women of Juarez, where they, part of it's like an occult murder, but it binds the group together in blood and death. And
Yes.
probably the Nazis too. Like that's when they went out to kill people. Like they would kill them, but that would solidify the
Right.
National Socialistic people together because we went out and freaking butchered people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And even the Americans that
Or
come
even
home from World War II, they never talk about it. They were like, shell shock and shit. They would never talk about because it makes them remember. But we talked about on our earlier episode about the O9A of Wake the Dead. We talked about they have this like trial against the Opfer, and they do this whole ornate like thing where they say why he deserves to be, and they have like somebody as the person's lawyer, and then after they accuse him and convict him, all the people in the Nexion have to participate in the killing. And that's kind of the same, like where you like they get everybody in the same blood in ritual,
right,
keeps
like
them
a gang,
silent.
right? Yeah,
Right. This person might have been an outlier who just found uh, the O9A literature and became infected with it, and as well as being infected with the Satanism and the transgender, like it all kind of all of them are different types of mind viruses, and this person seems to be highly susceptible to these type of mind control techniques. They're all evident in its personality.
right, right. But here's the thing: like they just got him for this one crime. What else is he up to?
Right.
It makes me think of Stephen Port. Port got busted, but like, what was he doing for years? Like a lot of times, like, or it makes me think of the Gilgo Beach murderer. What was his name, Hanneman or whatever? Like he
That
was
was
probably
the one in New York or
yeah
something.
on Long
Yeah.
Island.
Right.
Lisk,
Okay.
the Long Island serial killer.
Yeah.
He was probably killing people for 20 years,
Right.
and they just got him when he was like late 50s. Like they did. I mean, granted, that was some good police work, but like, what was he doing for 30 years? I mean, this guy's
Right.
only 26, but who are his friends? What's going on? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, well, now with all this online stuff, they collected all of his computers, and they got whatever. Like, maybe more will come of it.
They could solve more crimes. Like, hey,
I
you're a
hope so.
cop. Hey, you're a cop. Do some investigating. Maybe you could solve more disappearances. Like, if you find one serial killer, who else have they killed? They did the same thing with the guy, Rex Hewerman, I think was his name. Now it comes, but like they're trying to trace him to deaths in Las Vegas and I think New Jersey, Atlantic City, because they know he was there. So they're trying to like solve crimes that maybe the guy was on site killing people.
Right, like what they did with Henry Lee Lucas. They just tacked on all these other murders.
Well,
he was like, yeah, sure, I did that one too.
Well, I don't know. They were trying to find proof, but like what's happened around Oxford? I don't know. I don't remember any cases, but there's tons of cases in Bath and in Bristol. So is this guy, what does he do? Day trips? Does he go to Bristol? Does he travel a lot?
Right.
Like they need to ask those questions.
And the
what does he do?
started there too, like in that area.
Right. He's close to Shropshire. Like Oxford is really I think on the edge of Shropshire, if I remember.
Wow.
Where else has this guy been? Has he been to Manchester? Like
so maybe the Tavistock Institute that was transgendering people was connected to the same people who were doing this. I don't know. Like maybe, I mean, because above the orders we see are the occulted orders we can't. Maybe that area has a lot going on in their psychological research division.
Right. There's something very kind of mild nomenclature. Oh, we're just a military psychological operation.
Right.
We're looking out for your interest.
Right.
Let's give this guy a bunch of meth, and I mean, they knew meth drive people back, crazy, murderous. That's why they gave people reds.
Right. And that goes back to the bikers that were working with the Grateful Dead that had their guy Pigpen right there in the band, who's like dirty biker.
Yeah, give him some more meth. Give the bikers meth. That's a recipe for disaster.
They cooked.
I wonder how many guys were on meth at Altamont.
Right? Oh, a bunch of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's probably they're pissed off.
Right. Yeah. And so all this. Go ahead.
This is another person who's associated with Blake. Evie Brockman, probably not a real name. Had fallen out with Blake while visiting her. They call her again. August 2023. She recorded a video of herself crying, stated she was worried Blake was going to try and kill her. The video was played to the jury, and Miss Brockman can be heard saying, "I don't think I've been ever been this scared of her. I don't know what I'm supposed to effing do. She's probably going to try to kill me. I guess if anyone ever finds this, it was her. And if nobody finds this, I'm okay. I don't know. I probably won't be here anymore, at least not in the UK. But I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to go by." She then left to go to America with police helping her to get to the airport. So police helped this person get to the airport, but they didn't know anything about him. So it's like, this is another one of these cases. It's like
he was a known wolf.
He was known to the cops, man. Yeah. Wow. This is just more. Last time I found they died because I killed my son. Lloyd thinks it's hot. Wow. And this is another disassociation. So like the Morgan Casey, I think, is the prosecutor. But you said to her, the last time I found someone this drunk, they died. And BITCH, I kill someone as my lover thinks it's hot. She just didn't any question. And then Yushin Wang said, no, she believes she's in a world that is made by aliens and there are cameras everywhere and doing a Truman type thing. And I don't challenge her on that. She also believes she came from hell. I have similar false memories from that. We don't really challenge each other. We understand it's probably fantastical. So they're in like some kind of...
she's just talking fantastical poetry about having used to live in hell. I mean, maybe the thing is demonized. Maybe it's... I mean, I don't know.
Look at the sophistication of the terminology. They've got it all down. Then he continues. It wasn't something I wanted to screw up. I wanted her to say, I didn't see anything now. Go kill another cat for me. I only wanted it to happen once. And it did take some preparation. It took months for me to work it up to it and desensitize myself to it. She sent me videos of animal abuse and executions. She conditioned me mentally to withstand it. So that's Ashlyn Bell supposedly grooming this guy.
Wow.
I mean, what?
And isn't Ashlyn Bell like some tranny hooker, like who
Yeah, we'll
has
get to
like
that.
people that
Yeah.
follow?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Jesus.
I mean,
How
there's
many
just so
people
much.
is he doing that to?
But this is like an example. Good question, right? So we're in like 764 area. Online
Yeah.
grooming,
We should do a show about
bullying.
that. I got to talk to you and
Yeah,
be
that's
ex.
another one.
That'd be great.
Because they've just had more updates. They had a big article today about it. But they
Jeez.
had this is a survey that I did just from Google, but you can see the Guardian. These are big: Oxford Mail, BBC, Daily Mail, the Times. All of them say Scarlet Blake. You cannot find his real name on there, Eugene Wang or whatever, and they just call her a girl. Like
They're not allowed. I think, it's
that's terrifying. That should terrify the average person.
yeah.
Their marrow should turn to ice because they are deliberately leaving out crucial crucial information. These are the big corporate media.
It might be that becoming transgender is like ascending to another level of their evil order, and then once they get to that place, they're able to hide their past and whatever, like what's his name, Bruce Jenner, he like killed somebody with his car, and then all of a sudden he's a woman on Vanity Fair, and he's brave and stunning, all that,
super stunning
like,
and super brave. Still, but just like this guy, still has his male genitalia and likes women.
right?
Like
right.
That's what's weird.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you turn
it's not
into
weird. I mean, everybody should like women. Like,
right, but
never mind. Okay,
but my point is like you want to dress like a woman
exactly. Yeah,
and still be with women.
I
Like,
think it's probably evidence of their occult level.
something weird going on.
Like the OTO, like there's like 10 whatever, or like levels of there, but one of them, the if you go past like the 11th, is like to have gay sex. Like that's part of the OTO.
Isn't that's like the OTO grade 10 or 11 is gay sex,
like
right?
11, I think.
Like that's what you're ascending to.
Yeah.
And Crowley always said like that was the most nefarious type of relation, right? And that's what he preferred, right?
To invert people all the way the other direction, it's like a stepwise progression, like, and the person that I know even turned to the other gender, like, and they, being in that order at the same time they did that, they were taking the estrogen mimickers and like learning how to, they have to like wear, like he told me about it, they have to wear something internally so the wound doesn't shut for like years. And there's
right, if you get a fake vagina,
yeah, I mean, think of the willpower it takes to do that. And man, so
it's
anyway,
such a disaster, dude.
It's like it's proving their will level, like it's and they worship will, right? If they can do that, if they can totally invert themselves to the other,
right,
then they must be like really good magicians or whatever. I don't know how it works.
Do me a favor, Sean. Read this slide. Read the top blurb for this slide and tell me what it means to you.
CCTV shows Scarlet Blake leading victim to death on date. It means that he's saying, come this way. Hey, let's go on a date. I'm a hooker or whatever, and let's go to the waterfront where I can give you a BJ or we can drink or whatever the hell they do. And then, and they caught that.
They're leaving out that it's a total random crime. It makes it sound like they're
to
on
death,
a date with their friends.
Right.
So
like they're on a date.
Totally misleading. Yeah,
oh,
on
right,
date,
right,
whatever
right,
date
right,
it is.
Right.
It
I was thinking
like
of a hooker, like, hey, you want a date?
Right.
Like, yeah.
What's even more sinister is that this is a random dude looking to kill somebody, and they leave. This is another misleading element of the report.
You're right. Yeah. Like it's occulting the intention.
Yeah.
Wow.
That he's looking for an offer. They should say transgender man to female goes out randomly at night with kill kit,
right,
looking for someone to murder. Because that's what he had. He had a backpack. He never divulged Scarlet Blake, aka Yu Zhang Wang, never divulged what was in his backpack, and he was wearing a mask. So it was right after the lockdowns ended, I think. So I mean, this is another lousy. Like, who's writing this stuff?
Right.
Here's the victim. Right
It
now.
seems intentional that they are I mean, they have to make the transgender like look innocent. They have to make it like it seems like it's a satanic, that's the intention. The newspapers can't say that it's a dude. They can't say that's the rules. Just like Pelosi says it's wrong that the crypt keeper said that he, was the thing. It
Like
was
that wasn't illegal,
illegal.
right? He's
Right. Said it
undocumented.
was illegal, but she's like, he should have said undocumented. The guy's a murderer.
Yeah, it's illegal,
They shouldn't be like, oh, having feelings for that. They're all compassion on the evil one, and then the victim, forget about that. I mean, we see that with the West Memphis 3 and like all of your work with there.
Dude,
like,
they're all freaking illuminated Satanist, Luciferian liars. That's the whole thing. That's really scary. That's what you have to come to the conclusion. They're all part of the cult, just like you said, the capital C cult.
Yeah.
And they're covering for each other. This is another perfect example of poor reporting. Look at this thing. This is him dead. Tell me what you think. Because we're going to show the complete opposite of this. This is after he died in 2021. Look at this cover.
What happened during Jorge's final 30 minutes? Warning, deep water, like it's an accident. Right? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Warning, deep water. We're going to show it's in 1 meter of water. The dude could have stood up. 3 feet of water.
3 feet of water. Wow.
According to the court case. So this reporting is showing, this is the kind of nonsense.
So this is a false image.
For the SFK. Yes.
Wow.
So this is exactly like the SFK. What if the people, we're into like freaking like Rosemary's Baby stuff. What if the connection is so deep that the actual people who are doing the reporting or the tops of the pyramid know to obfuscate really what happens by doing crap like this?
Well, I mean, look at what they said, that it was a magic bullet that killed Kennedy, and that it was that one lone nut, and like, and they totally gave us the
did it.
Yeah. And like the Twin Towers and how they, they were like, it just collapsed on itself because,
Good point. So the public, I would say, if I was looking at in fresh eyes in 2021, I go, Jorge must have been in some deep water warning. Like he must have been in some very heavy river and fell out. And then there's a mystery friend. You see, he's with a friend instead of mystery person or mystery stranger or scary whacked out dude.
Everybody's friends with the tranny that comes up to you with a backpack at 4 in the morning
in a mask.
Right.
So why don't they say, who's this mystery guy all in black with a backpack and a mask? He's not a friend. This is just the most creepy reporting imaginable. Before he plunged into river. So even the plunging into river, it's a freaking stream. This is like, I mean, I've seen so many of these cases. There's a Hudson Lindau who died in Moscow, Idaho. And it's the same thing. It's like literally a creek. It's probably this deep, 1.5 feet deep. And he supposedly got so wasted at a frat party, he walked in there and he couldn't get up. I'm going to show you without question that this whole article is complete nonsense. It's the lousiest journalist. It has to, in my mind, it almost has to be intentionally written like poorly, like they knew they knew this is a smiley face killing. Right. That's how scary it gets, dude.
Well, the cops wanted the smiley face killings to look like accidents.
Yes,
and even though the families don't think so, the cops are like, shh, quiet.
So
guys.
Let's go over this reporting. Warning, deep water, friend, and plunged into river. So all the listeners who are listening now, thank you for listening. But remember those phrases in here. Warning, deep water, friend, plunge into river. Who has a friend who walks around at 4 a.m. at night in all black and a mask with a kill kit? Give me a freaking break. So let's play this video. I'm going to take this off and we're going to go straight to it. Let me get the video file that shows.
Are we gonna see the judge?
We're gonna do it right now. We're gonna contradict this. We're gonna contradict this whole thing. So
well, one day I want to learn how to do this to a person.
And he has a very strange accent too. Like if you listen to that again, it's not a pure English accent.
Like it's constructed, like it's fake accent.
Well, one day I want to learn how to do this to a person.
Possum.
Okay, so with a giggle, like it's cute.
Yeah.
Well, one day I want to learn how to do this to a person.
This is the court video, by the way. So it's showing where he was found diseased. Okay, you can just watch this. Thames Valley Police digitally reconstructed Blake's movement. So that's what they're showing for people who are audio only. And they have all the CCTV. And this goes right into Igor Sarsky's conclusions. Like his analysis and conclusion is they know where the CCTV are and they're intentionally doing these murders outside of CCTV.
Right, exactly. That's the MO of the smiley face killer. Basically brings them to a place where there's no cameras.
Yeah. Premeditation and intelligence, right? So this guy's intelligent. He comes from intelligent parents.
It's as if he learned how to do it online.
Interesting. Right. Yeah. Where? Right. And that's one of the other things I've surmised is like somebody's on some like dark web thing talking about stuff like this, like how to get away with the perfect.
Well, I mean, that's what O9A does, right?
Right.
I mean, they say to bring the offer to the water, and the water is like giving to the feminine, like it's like a ritual sacrifice to the feminine, and that's their goddess is the Baphomet and all that.
Right. There's all kinds of water themes all through No ONA. And this says, this is 3:47 a.m. Jorge Martin Carreño continues and then sits down at All Souls College. This is a very famous area too. It's kind of creepy. This is like Oxford was really the top college in England, right? It goes all the way back to I think the 12th century or something. Yeah,
this is where the occult orders like pick, tap on shoulders to like pick the college kids to be.
Right. This is the Yale
exactly
of the UK,
right?
More so
older
than Cambridge.
Than Yale, yeah,
way older, and just all full of old schools and orders, and almost all the prime ministers come out of this place, or Cambridge, mostly Oxford. I think that.
The Hellfire Club?
No, it was Maxwell.
One of them. There was
Lane Maxwell went to Oxford, so she's all part of this, all this stuff.
Right.
But these are really famous buildings. I mean, that's a whole nother show. But I just want to show how fake this thing. What happened to Jorge's final 30 minutes? Warning deep waters, friend, and plunged into river is. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right. The truth is, we're going to see here with the CCTV.
Yeah. Right. 11 minutes later, so they're following Jorge Carreño. Scarlett Blake stops on the high street. She looks towards Radcliffe camera. So she, according to this, he's looking at the camera. Yang-Chi Wang is looking at the camera, so he's
can tell where it is. Okay, we need to keep walking, Mr.
Yeah.
Jorge. Let's go. Yeah.
There's a camera here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully aware. I'm premeditated. I am.
But I mean, if he can see that there's a camera, he can see there's evidence that he's the last one to be seen with that person victim.
Really yeah, Scarlett. Okay.
Why would he continue if Anyway, go ahead.
Well, good question. But I mean, he's that's more risky, right?
Right.
But I mean, he's looking for a victim. Scarlett Blake walks up to Jorge Martin Carreño at 4, somewhere between 4 and 4:15, who's still sitting on the floor at All Souls College. So they've done their work, like mapping this whole thing out. Were you able to look through this?
Yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
We'll see at the end, like the river, the creek where he was drowned is like plunged into river is just complete nonsense.
Right.
Scarlett Blake and Jorge Martin Carreño together outside of All Souls College. So this is like a nice little atrium. It's almost like Harry Potterville or something.
Right.
It has that. That's where Harry Potter gets its whole vibe from. Are these old English schools.
That probably
Charlotte-
has a lot to do with the William Blake probably has a lot, like Albion and that whole thing.
Right,
It probably,
right.
I haven't looked into all of it, but it probably has something to do with this
I agree
Oxford.
with that. Scarlett Blake and Jorge Martin Carreño walk in the direction of Broad Street. So they're walking together. This is 4:13, so they have an exact timestamp. He's not dead yet. They spent an hour together. That's what's also weird, is like that may be the whole offer thing. Is
Hmm.
like, am I going to do this? Who is this guy? What's he talking about? You know, who is he? Like, yeah, it gets creepy.
Right, because then if he chooses to kill the wrong person, they don't get like the right like accolades from their cult when they prove like, hey, I
Right.
killed somebody.
You
See,
killed a bum, dude. Who cares, man? This guy's
right,
a crackhead or something. What's
right,
weird about their victims is like the middle class nature. They almost never kill somebody famous as somebody who's famous and their children. It's always in the.
someone
It's
who
just
could
kind
be
of sad.
forgotten easily.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody who it seems, and it's almost all this SFK deaths. Like I've seen so many families cry and weep and plead for their kids to come home, and they're almost all like middle class, or they're
It's really sad too.
yeah, no,
Because they don't have the money to actually put up a real defense.
exactly.
They just
They don't
get
have the
walked
money or
over.
the mental or experiential resources to do it either.
Hmm.
Like they're almost kind of like hapless in a very sad way. And almost all of them, like, and almost like if you, I mean, I know it's a fiction, but if you look at the Silence of the Lambs, right, the whole thing comes to a conclusion because he kidnaps the senator's daughter, right?
Right.
And so that's the desperation. So it's almost like they're not going to do that. Like, I mean, that's total speculation.
That makes sense.
Scarlett Blake and Jorge Martin Carreño continue on Cattle Street in the direction of Broad Street. So Scarlett Blake is taking him somewhere for some reason, and he's not dead yet. And granted, the police could have had so I surmise, I deduce that the police looked through this and they must have known that somebody was leading them off, but they never told the public for 2 years. Right? So they had a picture on that thing, like, we can go back here. They had a mystery quote friend, unquote, not a dude wearing all black and a mask with a kill kit, right? So this was made to the public. So the CCTV, I would assume that the police knew all this stuff. That
Right.
somebody took them out to the CCTV, but they didn't tell.
But they didn't want to do more investigation.
Or warn the
maybe.
public, Sean. They didn't warn the
Yeah.
public either.
Right.
Makes you freaking sick.
Well, they didn't. I mean, they didn't warn the public. I mean, there's a lot of infiltrators from governments that are doing things like they, like even Crowley was MI6. Like they, they might be like when Epstein was let out of jail the first time he was caught. Like, he works for them. Oh, I wasn't allowed to put him in jail. Like, what did Alex, the legal prosecutor was saying that he wasn't allowed to really do anything to Epstein.
He was told he was intel, right?
Right, and he was above his pay grade or whatever, and he had to let him.
He became the head of the Department of Labor, and then he had to quit, right? Because of Epstein. But he was caught in a pickle. He was probably told by the higher ups, like,
right,
don't look into this guy.
So
he's blackmailing the entirety of American cognoscenti, the intellectuals, the entertainment, the financiers. He's so something like that may happen.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe that's why the cops were not saying the friend was a killer, because he was the known wolf. They knew that guy, and they saw maybe he was doing an operation that night, and
maybe
I don't know. But they have to, because of the jacket and the boyfriend in America. Now they have to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna prosecute this dude. Like, maybe that's why he's smiling when he's in police custody, because he's like, I'm not gonna get hurt because I'm in the cult, whatever.
Right. So look at this. This is the differentiation. This is a really good one, because they're walking together on Cattle to Broad at 4:15, right? And then you can see them walk into the non-CCTV area, right? if people are watching this. Scarlett Blake and Jorge Carreño walked along South Parks Road in the direction of Marston Cycle Path at 4:27 a.m., right? Early in the morning. Classic smiley face killer's death. And then the last known ping on Carreño's phone is 5:15. So what or 5:08, excuse me. Final location data 5:08. What were they doing for 40 minutes? Were they drinking vodka? Were they doing something like sexual?
The place is called Parsons Pleasure. I mean, come on. It's probably some like gay park where they do weird stuff.
Maybe. I mean, that's another thing is like they said that I talked to somebody in Austin. There's been a lot of these cases in the last couple years where the bodies were found as a gay pickup site.
Right.
Parsons Pleasure. Maybe somebody get it. Look at this raging river, Sean. Look at that. This is a freaking pond. Martin Carreño found deceased July 26 at 12. So he was missing from 5. They didn't find him till midday that day on July 26, 2021. Watch this. This is the pond. You have a 3-dimensional for people who are watching this. This is a 3-dimensional rendering of this plunged into river, right? This is not a river. This is like a still pond, dude.
Right.
Watch this. There's his bag. So his bag's safely in the water for the evidence being washed off. His whole body's in there, feet facing down. Depth recorded 1 meter in this location. Wow. He could have stood up. So this thing is total deception. Warning, deep water. This says 1 meter.
If you're laying face down, like if you get, that's crazy, dude.
Let's go back.
I can't believe
warning, deep water. Right. This what day he died on July 26th. This is May 20. Was it? So I'd say July 27. When is that? 2023. I don't know when that date is. That. Anyway, this is either really bad journalism.
July, September 20. Oh, what? 11th July to 2nd of September 2022. I guess it's like it's only.
This is May 27th.
Twice a year, 4 times a year, or something.
Right. So anyway, this reporting is like everything else is crap, but this 3D representation is legit. But look at this so-called river.
Right.
It's a pond. And there's the vodka bottle cap lid. They call it. Wow, it's just incredible. Dude.
So he walked him there where there's no cameras.
Sorry, but extrapolate this, Sean, to every other smiley face death that I've studied or anybody studied. How can you trust the journalism? How can you trust what
just
these
like how can you trust the cops that are like not saying
right. I mean, so then we're gonna go, and then he says, at least it's not genocide. So we're gonna hear
that's good.
Wang say this, like literally say this publicly. Like, look at how this is what they call plunging into a river. Unbelievable. Deep water. 1 meter is what? 3 feet? 2.5 feet?
Yeah.
They can do that. So what we've got here is we've got a healthcare professional, so basically a nurse at custody. If you're, for instance, you need nicotine, then I think they've got those. So they're not. Oh.
This is another shoddy thing by the police. They should have set up a camera on a tripod and watched this guy and recorded everything for evidence. She's like holding her camera like a slob. People are just.
And they give them nicotine. Like
so
in America,
stupid.
They laugh at you. If you want a cigarette, they're like, haha, F you, you're in jail now.
But they used to, but I think they stopped that, double check. Like, for some reason, I would say they stopped.
Yeah, I'm probably just out of date with my information.
It's not that many. Well, most vape nowadays.
Dude, they could have like freaking Jeffrey Dahmer right there. They don't get it.
Right. He's making weird faces too.
I'd be like, dude, you need to set this guy up and start asking him questions. Watch this.
Is that the little percentage of nicotine? It's not too bad. I've been quarantined for a while, which is annoying, but I don't know, it's because like being arrested and also withdrawals.
Yeah, it's not a great concoction, is it?
best sort of combo. Yeah, could be worse though. At least it's not genocide.
Do you hear that? It says it could be worse. At least it's not genocide. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
You know, because like being arrested and also withdrawals.
Yeah, it's not a great concoction, is it?
Best sort of combo. Yeah, could be worse though. At least it's not genocide.
At least it's not genocide. Incredible. Incredible.
Does he know that this is the time of the culling of the rest of the real genocide? That's coming.
Yeah,
It's already
right.
been happening. Yeah.
Good point.
Right.
I mean,
Like I'm
holy
not as
smokes.
guilty as those other ones that are doing genocide. Like,
Yeah,
we're all doing
yeah.
culling here, guys.
Yeah, we're trying to cull the population, man. This guy, he was an offer. Don't you guys get that?
Right. What do you care?
My
He was
sacrifice.
he was a twin. There was an exact other one of him. Whatever. I guess he was a triplet or something.
a triplet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean-
like, whatever. You can lose one of him. I mean,
What-
I'm
what
just
if-
saying. I'm not actually
Right.
saying that. I'm making a joke here. Well, it's not even a joke. I'm just like example of what he would
Well,
say.
maybe that's what the 40 minutes was, right? The 40 minutes between when they were last seen and the last ping of his cell phone.
Mhm.
And that's a very common element of this is another element of the SFK crimes, is that the phone disappears or is thrown in water or something right there
Right.
at the end.
Right.
And that's what this new case that's happened. Everybody, I've gotten like 10 emails, by the way. Riley Strain out of Nashville, who's probably going to be found in water in 5 or 7 days. The same thing, disappeared, phones disappeared. These are standard MOs. This is
Yeah.
something for Interpol, FBI. I'm just a guy with an internet connection and a semi-working brain. You guys they need to catch up. This is really bad. They need to catch up.
I mean,
Anyway.
well, now there's, because of the actual evidence, like of the jacket and stuff, and then the testimony of the dude here that's in America, like they can't really cover it up. They have to.
They can't. They can't.
So
This is fitting the whole
Right.
narrative. You're right.
But it is evidence that they tried to cover it up before, and they tried to make it look like whatever. And that's another MO of the smiley face phenomenon, is the cops are just trying to not, oh no, like in Boston, like it's not connected. They're not connected. It's just a bunch of random drownings. Don't look there, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, so true. But I think that they had the information on Carreño with the dude. And it's the same thing that happened with Stephen Port and the last victim. They're walking around the middle of the night. How much did Stephen Port know? Like, that's another question that never is answered. What is Stephen Port's religion? What is he doing online? They never ascertained that. I don't know if you remember that part of the case, but I studied him for the second documentary. But like, these guys may all be connected.
Right.
Gay, trannies, GHB.
Right. And then the 7-4 thing, whatever, what is that called? That's group of
764, the
764
grooming group. Yeah.
Aren't they like, isn't that some weird?
It's an offshoot of O9A. There's no question about it.
Right.
There's no question. And they're finding there's Angel Almeida as part of it.
Right.
What are these guys? Are they in the same groups, the same Discord groups, or the same Telegram groups?
And the O9A was saying that pedophilia is okay. You talked about that before.
Crowley, right? It's all
right, and Crowley too. Yeah, but I mean, they didn't they say that it's necessary for like ascension or something? You have to rape a kid or some shit, but it's like it's related to, I forget what, in like Anton Long's thing he was talking about how pedophilia is okay because it like tests your inner satanic person or some shit. It makes you more.
I remember that.
Excuse my language.
I don't know. But there is a correlation just with the ONA, not 764. But a lot of these modern ONA, Adam Waffen offshoots,
right?
The far rights, they're into child abuse. Like their new acronym is CSAM, child something abuse material.
Child sex abuse
sexual abuse
material.
material. Yeah.
Right.
It's the new. That didn't exist 2 years ago. Like a lot. 764 didn't exist 2 years ago either. When I finished Global Death Cult in 2021, 764 didn't exist. This is like a new phenomenon. Like these are new phenomena. It's crazy.
Yeah. And there's
But
some
this is
scary stuff related
yeah,
to
no, this
that.
is really dark. This is the worst type of stuff imaginable.
Yeah.
Imagine being like his family. So this is another family thing. Like this was his ex-girlfriend, Carreño. She knew his password for his Google account. She was able to see it, his phone had last been active in the Parsons Pleasure area. Visibly emotional. This is at court. Visibly emotional. She told jurors she had entered the water to see how he could have drowned in 1 foot of water when he was naturally a good swimmer. This is classic SFK phenomenon. His work colleague, Sashko Stoimanov, who had been with him at the Cowan Creek pub that night, also said they had been in a happy mood before his death and had shown no signs of depression or suicide thoughts. Classic.
So maybe that whole long walk, they could be drinking whatever's in that bottle, and it could have been drugging him for that hour time. Maybe that's why it took.
There's the P. Diddy thing, right? He's
Mhm.
good. Maybe there's 2 bottles. Maybe there's something
Right.
like he knows.
1 bottle for whacking him on the head, 1 bottle for drugging him. But no, but really,
the judge doesn't know. Like they surmise that this is what happened,
right.
but they don't. I think this is his first date with me. This is from the social media that the police were able to obtain, but it's duct tape, a gun, a rope, and a knife. So it makes you believe that he knew, like he had some kind of kill kit on his backpack, and he got Carreño in the right spot. Maybe drugged him. Maybe Carreño thought he was a woman. My name's Scarlett. What if like he came up to you at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night with makeup on and said, "My name's," and emulated a female?
I probably wouldn't walk with him. I'd probably let him.
I'm
go
just
by.
saying, like we're just an average person. Like
Right,
oh,
sure.
like
Who
you're
knows?
drunk and you're like
Yeah, he's a
looking for a
college
female.
kid,
You're a
maybe,
man.
whatever. Yeah, right.
You're a man. You've just been out at night, like chasing women.
Yeah.
And then hey,
some weird thing in a mask that's like in a
or just
trench
maybe-
coat with a backpack. Like, hey, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I'm a chick. Okay.
But I mean, who? Look at. I don't know.
Never mind. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm just kind of.
I get it. No, I get that. I understand what you're saying, and like that, it does relate to having a female with the SFK, and when people go to the bars and stuff, some of those SFK victims, they had their guard down because obviously, and even with gangs and stuff, there's. You were talking about how there were gangs in Austin that are robbing people in the bars. Right. They like steal their wallet and stuff. They'll drug them, and that kind of thing. So that makes sense. They probably learned it from that, and they also learned to take them away from the cameras, from the 09A literature. And anyway,
let me see if I can find that article about criminal gangs drugging in Austin. Here it is.
Right. So that's a common tactic, and people should be careful.
Dash. Criminals are drugging people in Austin's bars and robbing them. This is a much bigger issue than most think. People are not talking about it. The media has a few reports, but it fades away in 24 hours of video and production. This is like this one. Right. And she got busted, like 3 times. Tomia Jacobs, 23. Fake rideshare drivers robbed more than $55,000 from multiple victims over a weekend. So they were just robbing people left and right over a weekend.
Wow.
That's a haul.
Right. And weren't they would like get their credit card number, and then they would like go and buy a bunch of iPhones really quick in the middle of the night before anybody could tell the card was gone. And then they would like sell that stuff in black market. And like the iPhone company knows that. Like this dude, like gang member comes in the middle of the night, wants to buy like 15 iPhones with a credit card. Like, come on, guys. Like, but they whatever, Apple's hip to that.
But look at this. This is another interesting thing. This whole case is so fascinating because how it's portrayed in the media is something else. So J.K. Rowling says, don't stop blaming this transgender stuff on woman. It's not a woman, which she's right.
Right.
And then they try to publicly shame her at the Metro UK by saying J.K. Rowling has sadly opened her mouth again. Right? Don't talk. Be in your place, B. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
Like they're shaming her. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
open your mouth. That sounds like a male abuser to a woman, right?
Right.
J.K. Rowling has sadly opened her mouth again, this time attacking Sky News for describing killer Scarlett Blake, who is transgender, as a woman.
She's trying to defend womanhood, and these
Right.
males are trying to infiltrate that. They're trying to be like, "Oh, I'm a woman too. Like, look, I can be in your safe space." And like all of a sudden, these women don't have safety anymore. All of a sudden, these women can be victims again. Like
That's this huge female issue too. Males do
Yeah.
not the prime values of males. Safety isn't at the top, but for women, it's like one of their top
Of
5
course,
values.
that's why they have a separate bathroom. That's why their locker rooms are different because
Dude,
they
very
don't want to
few
get
people.
raped.
Yeah, they don't wanna get
Obviously.
raped. So the gender differences are real, but it's interesting. This is another example, Sean, of shoddy or intentionally misleading journalism with this weird sentence. It's all one sentence, but the way it sounds is like she's attacking him for being a woman.
She's
Right?
not
So-
allowed to speak the truth. Sadly,
Opened her mouth again. She should have said J.K. Rowling is angry because Sky News called Yushen Wang a woman. It should be that simple.
Right.
Instead, it's like not a clear sentence at all. It's an intentionally obfuscated
right.
multi-clause
Hate
word.
the one who
Sentence, yeah.
speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Be nice to the one who's actually the murderer. Like, is the aversion.
Right.
Like
And if you talk, you better shut up, B. Right? Because you'll get another bruise.
dude,
That's the tone that I get.
yeah,
J.K. Rowling has sadly opened her mouth. Right?
that just goes to
Man.
show how inverted our society is.
Yeah,
It's like,
no, it's sick. It's sick in the UK too. It's
Yeah.
a global like freaking death cult.
yeah,
And then she misgendered another woman, India Willoughby, who's a man. So she's been spatting on Twitter. To her credit, like
good for her, but it must be a lot of work to do that. Like, she's the only one. Like,
because she has FU money. That's why she can
Right.
get away with it. She doesn't have to worry about her job. Like 90% of the people have to go back to get their paycheck, or they're dead, or they're living on the street. So they can't complain. But these are recent. This is March 12th. Today's what, the 13th?
mhm.
So yesterday, J.K. Rowling given positive evidence off-use label drugs and gender dysphoria treatment largely means an unregulated live experiment on children. That's Yushen Wang. That's him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And that's where the experiment leads. And then when it turns into murder, the cops are like, "Oh, don't look there."
It's a
Whoops.
woman. Yeah, there's no backstory.
Uh,
Tavistock Gender Hospital, go pound sand. It has nothing to do with this.
right.
It has everything to do with it. They should go back and look at all those people. This would be an incredible study, Sean,
Yeah.
is to go back and look at all the people who went through the Tavistock Gender Clinic and see where they went, whether they committed suicide, whether
Yeah.
they've killed anybody, whether they're animal harming, anything, see what kind of people they turned out to be.
That would be an interesting.
They'll never do it.
investigation.
If they
Yeah.
did it, they would lie about it. They would lie. What they'll probably do now, if they listen to this show, is they'll finance a fake inquiry and say, all these people worked out happy.
Oh, right.
They're the happiest people imaginable.
Like the fake
nothing went
memory
wrong.
syndrome or whatever,
Yeah.
like the whole Scientology.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the MK Ultra psychiatrists out there and just BS the public.
Right.
That's how dark it is these days, man. That's so bad. I mean, there's 100. This is another complaint. Alex Massey, Scarlett Blake case shows we need a serious conversation about truth. The murderer exposes the contradictions underlying gender self-identification. So true.
Right. If they're allowed to live in cognitive dissonance, then maybe that leads to them thinking that they can get away with murder. If they're like this recent, I don't know if you looked at this dude that was just on Joe Rogan like a month ago.
Yep, Sheldon Johnson, perhaps.
Right. Yeah. That person thinks they just got out of jail and they think that putting on a wig He's going to disguise them under the cameras while they're moving in this bucket and trying to dispose of the body, dismembering.
Right.
What? Like, really, dude?
Dude.
But they
Yeah.
think, oh, it'll work. Okay, here we go. And like, it's very. And then he had the audacity to be
There
on
he is.
Rogan
A month before, as an innocent. He's innocent.
promoting the Innocence Project whole agenda. I sent an email to Roberta Glass. I don't know if she saw it or whatever.
We should do a show. Here's the kicker: is this guy is like shaking hands with the guy who's persecuting Trump.
Right.
He's like a body, like literally cut up a human body. Like, it's so dark. You kind of have to laugh, kind of.
It's amazing. Like, he wore a wig to try to look like, this will keep me innocent. Like, what the heck? And like, what, maybe he can say, I was crazy. I was transgender at the time. It wasn't me. It was some other me.
So crazy.
Who knows? I mean, like, the government recognizes, they don't, like, the U.S. government won't say mother or father anymore. They say like parent 1, parent 2, and like,
Dude,
that's the legal terms. It's changing. Like, it's like the ratcheting wheel is ratcheting further and further towards the inversion of reality. And wow.
No, I mean, I've said it in multiple shows. Like, they said back in the 70s or 80s, like when they started putting gay people on TV, this is just the beginning. And everybody said that's a slippery slope, illogical argument. You're all lying. And then we're here today where you've got trannies showing their testicles at, book reading hours at your local library. They were right. Everybody who said that was right.
Dressed up like a demon with like horns.
Demon, like a scary demon traumatizing some kid. Like,
and the kids watch all the other adults like, yay, this is fun. And the kids like are trained into the cognitive dissonance. They're like, that's a demon. But then they see the parents treat it like, I love it. And they're like, okay, we're supposed to grow up to love demons, right? So like it's all mind control all the way. Like, yeah.
I think Rogan will probably have that guy Josh Dubin back from the Innocence Project. I think he's
to cover it up and be like, whoops, that didn't happen.
I wonder,
he's cool anyway. Like I went and recorded that. Like, Spotify has it, like, they won't let you download exactly. So I found a way to record it, and
it's smart. They're probably covering it up, dude. They probably
Well, they got all the rights and stuff, and they won't let you. But you can listen to it on their platform. But he introduces that guy as like a hero of a human being, like a wonderful hero guy, and then why is he a hero? Because I was in jail for 25 years, and Joe's like,
for a crime I didn't commit, just like Eccles, right? Just like
okay, and
there's no evidence.
The whole Innocence Project that Roberta gets into, her whole like career, basically, like of her true crime show.
Yeah.
Right. She is
actually
right.
Their response, as far as I'm concerned, that person who got killed by Sheldon Johnson should sue the Innocence Project for their murder, because they're the causative factor of him getting out of jail, right?
They should sue that guy that he just had his arm around, the DA that of New York, or Queens, or whatever.
I mean, I would say that they're responsible. Like, the Innocence Project is tampering with the legal system.
Right.
So, like, if the legal system's bad, then you should change the legal system to make it more efficacious, instead of saying it's all trash and they're all wrong. They're actually, I mean, one of the horrible things is that they are undermining the process.
Yeah. They're creating the chaos.
Yeah, they are.
That, like you said,
Rogan is facilitating it too, to his shame.
Right. I think he's a gatekeeper for sure, but that's another show. But before the
we've been at it for 2 hours.
It's
okay. Yeah. I'm starting to jumble my words, like, when I'm talking.
Okay. Well,
part of the Blake Cave shows, Scarlet Blake.
Right. So we do need a conversation about what it does to the minds of the people. Like, not only like it is a mind control effect when there's genital mutilation. I mean, I guess he didn't go through with it, but still, like, I think that there is something related to an ego. Like, I think Satanism goes hand in hand with the transgenderness. Like, I think that like like we were talking about before, off like the other day, off of recording, where um, the it seems as though the Satanism and the ego, the love of ego, is why these people wear the persona of a woman, because they imagine that the woman is the peak of what everybody wants and loves. So then they want to wear this. So it's like an ego, and stroking their ego. I don't know, like it enforces their ego. And then that is more, that ego leads to the division from the oneness of everybody is a family of humanity. And this is like where the Satanism starts, is that ego. And then like it leads to the what O9A promotes, like the social Darwinism, like the Opfers or the Hubriati are terrible and we should kill them, and the eugenics of, like we should like
right, for the benefit, it's for our benefit we're calling, right? That's
right.
for humans' benefit, so we can become Homo galacticus. We got to get rid of the dross, right?
Yeah, so we
Very
got to do this
nonsense.
murdering and like, oh, everybody on board, and like the eugenics, like the transgenderism is eugenics, like it makes them sterile, they can't breed anymore. And that's one of the bigger goals of the higher elite occult orders, is to cull even the people that are the worker bees. They're going to cull them too, like the
They're doing it
Antifa.
now. They're doing it now.
Right. Yeah. They're getting rid of like P. Diddy, for one. They're burning him at the stake. Like, it's funny. But I mean, that's funny to laugh at. But I mean, I feel sorry for his victims. Like, holy shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah, that was I mean, it's getting so dark out there, man. I gotta
Right.
tell you, this is just one element of it.
Yes.
And the darkness is actually the fact that they're not doing what you and I are doing, which is really kind of parsing through, at least this guy Alex Massey's trying, but parsing through the meaning of the lack of subtly doing a finer grain analysis of what's going on. This guy's definitely not a woman, and it's not
Right.
his name, Scarlet Blake. They should call it Fangze Wang,
Right.
aka Scarlet Blake, aka others unknown, because he has different personas online.
Right.
And that's what the government should do. That's what the UK government should do. They won't do it because they're going to cover up everything, because it'll make them look dumb. But they're not going to look into his internet background and where he's been and what he's been on, because then he can tell people. The government would tell people, hey, watch out for this. Like if your kid's online or he's on Discord on this server, they're up to no good, and this is what they're saying.
Or they take it over and they keep it running and use it as a fly trap, like what like they did in America when they took over that PIE network or whatever. They used it as information gathering for blackmail. I mean, that's how the world works these days.
That's the way it works. That's what Facebook is. That's why Facebook and Instagram still have all the child rape stuff on there.
Gross. Yeah.
And the government, or Zuckerberg, they're using that for information. That's why they've never shut it down. That's probably why they didn't shut it down on Twitter. I mean, before Musk, my understanding is that it was really bad on Twitter, like the child abuse stuff. It was, they did never stop.
They had codes and stuff, and they were talking like freely or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know how much Musk shut it down. There's a lot of porn on Twitter. I just had like 4 porn bots on one of my posts. I was like, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they have to get this stuff out of there, man. This is bad. Like Musk needs to do a better job.
He should have a separate porn Twitter and let them do that over there, and he can make money off them
dude.
still.
Yeah, he can make all the money he wants.
Yeah,
he can call it X.
But, yeah, I mean, triple X, right? Do it over there.
Can somebody out there in the real world set up a social media site with no bots? Like they promise no fake accounts, no social media influencer baloney, no fake accounts from a corporate influencer, and no porn. Like just actually authentic, verified people. You know, that's all I ask. I don't think it's a big ask. That's not a big ask. When I go on Facebook, every time I've like tried to reset up account, they're hitting me with like dating for 50-year-olds. Like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not on
I've been
Facebook.
married
But
for like
when
25 years, dude. I've been the same woman 30 years.
well,
I didn't want to see all this stuff.
right.
I don't want to be
But when you're on
bothered.
Facebook, you also fall victim to the flat Earth psyop, to
Oh,
the
yeah.
other psyops, like like
It's a cesspool, dude.
the
Facebook is a
09A is on
cesspool.
Facebook. Like
It's a cesspool, dude.
yeah. Grandma's there though. Hey, like cat
Yeah.
videos are there.
It can't survive. Facebook
Well,
is already gone, dude. Just a matter of
Yeah.
time.
That's why
So
they
he's
bought
got to go into
Instagram.
Meta and get you
Right.
into the matrix and turn you into a real digital slave. And that, I mean, the intent behind Meta is a horror show. I mean, that's a
Right.
whole nother show, but like, you
Yeah.
really want to turn somebody into a matrix slave where they're not looking outside. And I think the answer for Zuckerberg is, yeah, that's his next step, is to take you from a social media asset who knows everything about you to just a guy sitting in a bathtub with a freaking headset on. He doesn't go outside. And he's
Yeah.
miserable without it. So your whole dopamine responses in your brain all come from this headset. When you take it off, you're like, I gotta put it back on. Oh yeah,
Wow. Yeah, like
Feel
that
better.
Spielberg movie there,
Yeah.
where
It was
in the
wild.
reality it's just like it's trailers stacked on top of each other and the whole world is desolate wasteland. But when you put on the headset, it's woo, and you pay
Yeah.
real money for like a fake hairdo online.
Right.
Crazy.
They're still doing it now, dude. It's crazy. But I mean, I think it's interesting because that's where this particular case grew out of, was the internet. Like, it all started with him talking to this guy, Ashland Bell,
right.
and then feeding off each other in some odd way, and then committing the crime, and then Bell telling the police.
Right.
I mean, we haven't
And
got to
without them contacting each other and egging each other on, like Ashland Bell like gave him instructions and desensitized him for killing the cat. So that like is the same as 09A. It brings you into the stepwise progression into
Yes.
the evil, where you accept it and you do the immoral thing on purpose to prove your inner Satan. It's like transforming the self into more Satan, doing the will of evil.
If Ashland Bell, or whatever his real name is, who's in Texas, was actively involved in this, is Ashland Bell, by the way.
Gross.
I don't know what his real name is. This is also O&A tie-in, is that he is a Nazi memorabilia fan, like that.
Just
that's
like
in one
Adam
of these-
Waffen. Right.
Yeah, Adam Waffen. He's got the downward facing pentagram, and this is live. Like, I found this dude on some training.
That's his
site
phone
in
number?
Texas. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
gross. Okay. So
I'm
it
Ashland,
reads,
but all my friends call me Ashy. I'm half Russian, half American trans girl. You're a dude. And there's the like downward facing whatever
Trans girl.
pentagram goat, right?
on her knees.
And that's being a complete
That's pretty
sweetheart.
occult
Come
too,
across-
right there.
Yeah.
Like to be on your knees, like for Satan. Like, wow.
I have a down payment system. I have
Ugh,
plenty of photos to refer. I'm perfect girlfriend for you.
gross.
Haven't been on many dates, never been with, so let's change that.
Ugh.
Austin, Texas. This is
Down
a
payment
hotspot.
program for a hooker online. Who is facilitating that? PayPal?
I'm not
MasterCard?
gonna say it's on one of these.
I can't
websites.
believe.
Dude, it popped right up.
Dude.
It popped right. You can type in Ashland Bell and transgender.
So
it
when
pops
people
right up.
read these, like when they'll go, it's advertising for that. Like he's probably got a way more followers now. That's sick. And in the
But here's the
occult
thing that I was
sense,
trying
like,
to get at
okay, go ahead.
is that if he is egging them on, then that's a criminal act. It's potentially a
Yeah,
criminal.
the grooming is right.
Look at this other trans guy. This guy's scary. If I saw this, I wouldn't even think this is a woman. Like, look at those eyes, dude.
Yeah,
Lexi Rose Crawford.
That
Released
dude
from
is
prison for a
pissed.
previous sex attack on a child. That's an angry trans
Yeah.
right there, dude.
yeah. And like,
Lexi Rose
imagine
Crawford.
meeting them on Discord. Like,
Oh, bro,
yeah,
that's terrifying. We'll have to do a part 2 because we're at the 2-hour mark.
right.
I gotta run.
Okay.
Where can people find Wake the Dead?
Oh, well, Wake the Dead is on all the podcast players. The main site where I post everything is onegreatworknetwork.com/Sean-McCann. And you can also find me on Odyssey, BitChute, and Rumble, and sometimes YouTube on Wake the Dead. And for you, William, where can my listeners find your work?
It's the same on anything William Ramsey Investigates. I've got a lot of different stuff. I put out 3-part episodes on the real David Ferry, which is really fascinating. A lot of people don't know how strange that guy was, but that was real popular. But you can see it on any like iTunes or where else do people? Spotify. And then my website is William Ramsey Investigates. And then I seem to be posting a lot on Twitter, so you can see some threads and some other stuff that I've been putting up there. But and your podcast is in the top 2% of the world, so
Thank you.
Definitely getting a lot of listeners. And you don't put any ads too, so you don't antagonize people with programmatic.
Yeah, I don't rape their ears with like whatever.
That's right. I do.
Yeah, well, at least though we're not like some shows. I'll hear advertisements for the medical thing that they were pushing for 2 years, and I like hear that in a show where they're talking against it. I'm like, what? Like
interesting.
But not your
show.
Well,
hopefully that'll bleed them out. They can spend all that way. It's actually your tax dollars at work anyway. But anyway. Yeah, so this we'll have to do a part 2 because I got so many more slides.
Yeah, and they should look on
more video.
They should look on William Ramsey investigates.com at your books. You have many books, and you've done many investigations that they're great rabbit holes for people to dive into. And you've got so many shows, and you talk about so many topics, and thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, I've done a lot. I'm almost at 1,200 shows.
Yeah, you yourself are in the 0.5 of shows on the world. Yeah,
I might be making a step up sooner than later. Who knows?
That's great.
Yeah, anyway, Sean McCann, Wake the Dead, and then William Ramsey Investigates. I got to run.
Cheers, William. Thank you.
Cheers.